What is up? Dave coming back with a new video tutorial for you guys today. And yes, I have a stuttering problem. Deal with it. Apparently I'm not going to make it through a video ever without stuttering. But I wanted to show you guys something today that I released privately 3 years ago on Mr. Android and Sinful Android. This was very private. I showed it to about 4 people, and that was really about it. As you can see, I am looking at the DLL files of a Unity 3D game. I actually submitted this as an exploit to Unity 3D themselves, and they told me that this was all up to the app developer and game developers to figure out a fix for it, and that they weren't going to do anything for it. So I used Combat Arms. I used Racing Rivals as my original example, and how I actually did it. So as you can see, there is this DLL called EA Send Mail. This is a DLL that I made personally by myself. It was a DLL that is basically like an API for sending and receiving emails via built-in SMTP servers. So this was something that I made because I wanted to show that since we had source code access, not only could we script in hacks, but we could script in ways to literally hack another player and steal all their stuff if we were able to easily get them to use the hack. So basically what this was taking Racing Rivals, throwing all my hacks in it, so like auto launch and shit like that. And then from there, we would also have a function set up where it would send emails. And I'll show you the stuff that's in the emails, because this is an APK I didn't know I still had. So we're going to go, it's mail sender. I remember making this, and I remember being amazed that it worked. So what I had to do is I had to make a new, I would go in, I'd make a new class, one of these things, class thingy. I'd basically inject a class, so I'd be up here at the very top of the DLL and just be like, go Reflexel, and I'd inject a new class. And that's how I made the mail one. So I made mail sender, and then in mail sender I would create a property to get user info, and then I'd create a method in order to make a function. Now, as you can see, I'm using Reflexel version 2.1, and there's not much to this. Now, that's because I have my API that allows me to just do all this very easily. As you can see, thanks to this SMTP emailing client code that I put into Racing Rivals here, I'm able to simply send emails from this Gmail account to this Gmail account with the subject of test email from Gmail account. And then what it was doing is it was getting user info, like the player's username, the amount of money they have, the amount of points they have or gems, the street credit level they're at, their biggest win, so the highest money win they ever had, a list of their cars, the boost left, and some XP. See what their XP is. I don't unfortunately have an email example, and obviously Racing Rivals 4.2.1 no longer works. But basically this would be the text of the email, the body of it. So it would be user info at the top, break, so it would go to a new line, and it would put the username for string 1, string 2, string 3, string 4, and I'd get all this info. And I actually proved, and I don't have it coded here, but I proved that I could steal the hash of a Gmail account's login information. So I could get the Gmail email used, I could get the hash for the password used, I could also get the Facebook email and the Facebook password. So, and the Facebook password was clean text. I could just straight log into your Facebook account and steal your account that way. This is how people used to do it. There were 3 of us that knew how to do it. I personally never did it publicly. I used it, okay, I can't say that. I used it once publicly to catch somebody who was leeching my hacks. So basically, I waited for certain usernames to pop up in emails, and about 100 people had the APK that had this in it. So I had about 150, 200 emails to go through because of people using the APK multiple times. The way this APK was coded is it would crash at a certain point of the game loading after it sent the email, and then I get the email and I would see the user info. And I knew the player's in-game name for the guy who was leeching it, so I just waited, and then I sent all the info to the admins, and I got him banned, like range banned, so any account associated to his IP address was banned. But basically, you're wondering now, all right, this is here. This isn't original code. How did you get it to actually run? Well, if you go to analysis and you see depends on, it depends on this. It's found in assembly C#, and this is the items it's getting. So that's what it depends on. It's used in the button brag to Facebook. So if you ever brag to Facebook that you won a race, it sent me an email. If you ever decided to hit the next button on the winning race screen, it sent me an email. I got an email every time you won a race, every time you clicked the brag to Facebook button. This isn't the original one, but there was also one that if you click the race button in the main garage screen when you first log in, it would crash after that and send me the email. So that's how I got the guy and banned the guy that was leeching my hacks at the time. Now, just as an added bonus, to help you guys understand, I believe it's actually already in here, but we're going to find out. So here's race controls view. Here's update physics timer. I'm going to show you guys how we did auto launch, because I had a guy recently ask me, hey, how did you do auto launch? I want to help you bring that back to Racing Rivals. And don't take that as, oh, all of a sudden it's possible, because that doesn't mean it's possible. Now, if you remember in Racing Rivals, there was all this encrypted crap, and a lot of the times we didn't feel like going through and decrypting it. So in Reflexel, we would just go through and comment it out. It didn't harm anything to the code. It just, this is how we did it. So this is a good thing to know about with Reflexel. If you're having issues with your code running, just comment it out. Very easy to do. And then I'll show you how to script in auto launch after this. Right now I got to get rid of all this junk. There's going to be more of it, I remember. That's what I thought. I got a new car today, by the way. It's really nice. I got a 2012 Hyundai Veloster. Really nice cars. It's a 6-speed manual. It is the base model, but it's got the premium sound system inside the car. No turbo, unlike most of the Velosters you'll see. The turbo models were too expensive for me. I needed something around $7,000, and the turbo models run around 10,500 to 11 for a good one. I got 53,000 miles on mine. It's literally never been driven compared to what it could have been. And the reason I got a new car was due to a car accident. I was in a car accident with a semi-truck. It wasn't too happy. Oh yeah, it was sending the email somewhere in here too, and I don't remember where. But that's not a big deal. But yeah, that was a ton of fun to deal with. I got my new car today though. I'm happy with it. I haven't driven it long yet, but I have not really had the chance, which is why I haven't. I went to a hockey game tonight. It was a lot of fun, and now I'm home making this video for you guys. It's like 2 a.m., 3 a.m., something like that. I really need to go to bed, but I'm just, not. Forgot about race unity being a thing. So now the code compiles. So now that I commented all that out, you can see there is the if this green light started code right here. So this is basically checking to see if there's a green light. That's all it's doing. If there's a green light, it's going to let you race. If there's not a green light, this is basically what's controlling to tell when you get your reaction time. So what we used to do was this. This is exactly how auto launch was coded. Not the first time. The first time I did auto launch, I did it all by opcode because we didn't know we could script like this. But we did this dot race controls. How did we do it? Was it? No. This dot. Oh yeah. Race controls view dot button NOS or button gas down. Button gas pedal down. True. This dot raise controls view dot button NOS down. That was for auto NOS. That was it. That's all it took to do any kind of auto launch in Racing Rivals back in 4.2 and older. Once 5.0 came out, that's when they gave us the IL to CPP, and IL to CPP dumping was not a thing until about 2017. So for 2 years, the game truly was hack-free, which was awesome. But there were other things we could do with this too. If we got into more in depth with it, I could do the this dot reflexal send mail dot send email, and then that would send the email during races as well. But this would be a good way to flood myself because this is running every millisecond, so you don't want this here. But that's basically how I would call the send email function. So today, just to recap, you guys. Taught you guys how to do auto launch, taught you guys how to do the email exploit in Unity games. I don't recommend using this exploit, and I don't think I'm going to release the API DLL that I made for doing the email sending. There are credits somewhere due for the API I made, the DLL. I just don't remember where I got most of the code, but like 90% of it is copy and pasted because I didn't know at the time how to make a class. So I basically used a tutorial to make my API. So there are other places online where you can find this API and be able to use it. But anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. It was a lot of fun to make. It's really nice to be back making tutorials again, and it's really nice to show you guys exploits that I've known of now for 5+ years that still work. I could put this in Bowling by Jason Belmonte that was released in November of 2017, and it will work. I will be able to still steal the Gmail account email and the password hash. I'll also still be able to steal any kind of Facebook information. I could use this to the point that I could probably, with enough coding and just time and figuring it out, I could steal things on your internal storage and make them attachments to the email. So it's really scary what you can do with this kind of power. You just need to know the right ways to code it, and you'll be able to go about it from there any way you'd want to. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Tutorials are going to start being more and more of a thing. It's really hard for me to sit down and make videos anymore. I gotta make them at like 3 a.m. when everyone else is asleep. Else there's a lot of noise going on because, you know, babies cry and girlfriends cry when you're not giving them attention. So anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what other kind of tutorials and stuff you guys would like. Let me know if this was good enough for you. I know I didn't explain it very well, but I did that on purpose. I didn't explain this tutorial well because I don't want little noobs running around with this code. So that's why it's not explained, you know, in detail of, oh, this line is figuring out the FPS of the game versus this line is checking for the green light. Oh, and with the mail thing, like, this line is the from, this line is the to. That's why I didn't go through and explain it, you know, spoon feed style. I don't want newbies running around with this. I don't want everybody and their grandmother to be able to do this. I don't want everyone to understand how to do this. But if you guys want a tutorial or any more tutorials or an in-depth tutorial If you guys want something, if you guys want the DLL, the API, leave a comment on the video. I might be willing to release it for a fee. I will protect it though, so it will be something that you won't easily be able to use at first, but it is what it is. And honestly, this code that's right here, if you know what you're doing, you can just straight use it. I'm not going to tell you exactly how, but you can just straight use this code right here. I'm not going to tell you about the includes or anything like that, though, to get it working. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like I said, I didn't want to spoon feed any newbies to make this, one of those be-all, end-all hacks and a scare tactic. Any hack I release from here on out, these have only ever been included once. So, and that was, a couple years ago. So I don't plan on releasing the stuff in my APKs anymore because I don't care if it gets leached. If it gets leached, it gets leached. I don't care. But anyway, guys, hope you guys enjoyed. Peace out.